merely raised an eyebrow at Fitz, her expression, a mix of analytical amusement and knowing resignation. Wasn't. Fitz, his face a canvas of escalating dread, could only manage a strangled choke, his grand declaration of finding a terrific roommate, now ringing hollow with the undeniable truth. Honesty, a guess through all her ties. Behind the wall, exasperation. Feeling the walls of sanity closing in around her, as if the whispering manor itself were mocking her. No information. Fitz, Dr. Cassandra Nightshade, the peculiar prophylaxis practitioner, the formidable arbiter of anatomical and botanical pronouncements, the woman who thinks your underwear choice is public information. Nightshade, ever calm, ever logical, merely offered a small, dry smile. Small world, isn't it, Miss Vellum? Although, for Mr. Grimbles, perhaps not small enough. Perhaps a mere inconvenience in his meticulously curated, albeit slightly theatrical, world on Tuesdays. Desperate for any diversion from the impending confrontation, and Dr. Nightshade's unwavering presence turned to Sarah, untraumatized. Finchera, Sarah, would you do Fitzwilliam Grimbles a profound favor and go into kitchen and get Dr. Nightshade some more of your rather questionable basilisk breath tea? A calming brew would be in order, not suspect. A peculiar prophylaxis for the nerves. For everyone present. We stared at him, her patience utterly depleted. What, Fitz? But why? Why this sudden obsession with arcane infusions, Arthur? Your culinary repertoire usually tends towards the more robust and less therapeutic. Wintley. Urgency. Good. Mott can handle this. Fitzwilliam Grimbles is a master of delicate interpersonal negotiations. It'll just be a second, Mott assure you. A mere flicker of time, Omi I sighs. He whinnied latterly, quite traumatized. He then physically nudged towards the kitchen, practically pushing her out of the room, while turning a rather desperate, pleading gaze at Dr. Nightshade. Ophites, Vinnaby. Sarah, sudden whims and theatrical pronouncements, finally sighed and headed for the kitchen, muttering darkly about the inexplicable peculiarities of human behavior and the profound patience required to coexist with Fitzwilliam Grimbles, one booming traumatized. A torrent of desperate words erupting from him, his voice a frantic whisper, utterly devoid of its usual booming theatricality. Dr. Nightshade, what in the name of all that is reasonable and civilized is wrong with you? Fitzwilliam, Grimble simply cannot live. Capite. Had that person, Mott simply cannot. Her mere presence instigates profound, existential discomfort. My very soul, doctor, simply chafes under her logical gaze. Off Topio with a set and nice. Feet. Entirely unblinking, unreadable, yet filled with a certain subtle amusement. Your fight, Mr. Grimbles.
Is there a particular deficiency in my character that precludes?
Cohabitation. An allergy to pixies. A pathological aversion to your arcane culinary creations. Or perhaps simply a lack of theatrical flair, which, Mott admit, is a significant component of your existence. Bonum duan, Mott, offerken, orphan, profoundly deficient. We degrees. Fitz flailed his arms in exasperation, feeling as if he were losing a profound battle of wills. Arthur. Because Mott don't like her. She's too precise. Too unnervingly analytical. Too logical. Too sensible. And her violin playing, doctor, is simply torturous. It defies all laws of musical harmony and elemental resonance. Ontly, Dr. Nightshade, patently, continued to stare at him, unblinking, a faint, almost scientific curiosity in her gaze. "And why not, Mr. Grimbles? What specific data points have led you to this profound, yet unsubstantiated, conclusion regarding my suitability as a cohabitant?" Orby had been traumatized. Fitz spluttered by her calm, rational approach, his words tumbling over each other in a frantic torrent. "Arrogant, Sarah. That's why. She's not at Motfe all like you, Sarah. Mot means Sarah. You don't have to keep an eagle eye on her constantly. She's rather assertive. One might even say dominant. She does have your sweet disposition, Sarah. That is better. Like that." Ontly, pronaismord. He realized his error mid-frantically, as if talking directly to Sarah, attempting to backtrack from his ill-advised pronouncements. Unfin, Desai Shade. Though Dr. Nightshade, as emerald eyes of something Fitz could quite decipher. It looked vaguely like amusement, a subtle intellectual appreciation for his profound verbal floundering. "Ontly, Finchled," she said. "Mr. Grimbles, fact you said, yet imbued with a subtle, cutting irony. You, Fitzwilliam Grimbles, left this business of picking a new roommate entirely up to Miss Vellum. You deliberately abdicated your responsibility. You would not even lift a little finger to help her, ring instead to referee goblin mud wrestling and engage in absurd infirmary antics. And now that she has found a thoroughly respectable and financially stable tenant, a forensic botanist, mind you, for the Whispering Manor, you object?" Unterkaitheist. She paused, then delivered the final crushing blow, her voice dropping to a calm, resolute tone. "Omingentais, and listening in Dr. Neist, personen, the very nicest person Miss Vellum could possibly have found. So want to hear a word out of yous. Who? Fitzwilliam Grimbles. My tenancy here is perfectly justified, entirely necessary for the collective good. And Arthur, simply non-negotiable, utterly deflated. Fitz, his theatrical facade, crumbling around him like one of his poorly baked alchemical cakes, mumbled, his voice barely audible. "Well, Fitz, just because Mott have to live with her, doctor, does to mean Mott have to like her. Fitzwilliam Grimbles is simply stating a profound, existential truth. A personal, subjective truth, Arthur. As a nightshade, however, offered us surprisingly gentle, almost sympathetic smile, a rare glimpse of warmth. On Grimbles, you don't have to like her. Personal, emotional preference, matter, and entirely your prerogative. But there is one thing you do have to do, Arthur. A crucial social contract you must uphold for the harmonious functioning of this peculiar domicile. Con limer oval impai." Fitz looked up, a glimmer of desperate hope in his eyes, searching for any possible escape clause, any peculiar prophylactic loophole. "Off as that, doctor. Team-building exercises involving communal arcane culinary endeavors, or a profoundly therapeutic violin de UET featuring sentient flora, when faintly seen. Merely CrossFit Matier arm." Her emerald eyes fixed on him with an unnerving calm. "Barnaby, this manner requires most maturity, bar. Not melodrama, and a timely contribution to the communal cleaning roster, which Maud have already meticulously prepared and posted in a prominent, easily accessible location, Arthur. Your duties, Artie, are clearly outlined when Fini Tinkle. No theatrical pretense, honoriegis." Fitz could only stare after, utterly defeated. His hopes for an easy, malleable roommate dashed, like so many of his culinary creations. Auberdy Sabbat, Tigers. The whispering manner,